Now, Audi has been doing electric vehicles for quite a while now. It was one of the first to arrive in this kind of mid-size SUV class with the e-tron, which is a Q5 size and style of vehicle, along with the Jaguar I-Pace. So you think it would have got them right by now. Well, this actually gets pretty close. It's the Q4 Sportback. Sportback basically means it's got the coupe roofline or body profile. Here I'm testing the top spec version, the 55. The naming structure of Audis is a little bit confusing, but basically the higher the number, the higher the variant. 55 is usually at the top. This is one of two variants. There's the 45 and the 55. And this comes with the S-line trim pack as well. Underneath it all, you've got an 82 kilowatt hour battery feeding energy to two electric motors for quattro all-wheel drive, combining to produce 250 kilowatts with a 0 to 100 claim in 5.4 seconds. If we have a look at the spec sheet here, the prices start from $107,500, although this has got the metallic paint option, bumping it up to about $109,000, which is actually not too bad for a premium product. If you compare it to a non-premium rival, which you shouldn't really do because this is premium and they're non-premium, but some of the non-premium rivals do offer more power or more range for a lower cost. But if you compare this to any other premium rival, particularly the petrol rivals, such as a BMW X3 M40 or M50, can't remember what it's called now, the inline six turbo one, that's about $130,000. So you are getting a little bit cheaper with this, even if you compare it to the electric alternatives from the German marques and any of the Japanese or Korean luxury brands. This is a little bit cheaper than some of them anyway. Behind the wheel it feels pretty good. It's got a nice natural driving position. The steering wheel is a little bit awkwardly shaped in my opinion. It's got a flat bottom. But yeah, overall this feels like a pleasant place to sit. I've got decent headroom, although that dashboard does protrude out a little bit and take up a bit of that perception of space. But yeah, it's not too bad for this class, a mid-size SUV class. And then up at the back, plenty of legroom actually for this class, and even the headroom is pretty good, even though it has that coupe style of swooping roofline. My head's nowhere near the ceiling, although I think if you're a little bit taller it might start to get close. It's mainly getting in and out. You get close to that the pillar there, but once you're in, it's actually pretty good. I'm surprised by the legroom actually. It's a lot of legroom, even though I've got my seat in my configuration. I'm only short, but even if that was to roll all the way back, you've still got a fair bit of room. You've got climate options down there, as well as a couple of, or three charging plugs as well. You've also got a nice big center console, armrest, cup holders, although these cup holders are not very deep. I find that it's easy, well, if you put a 600ml bottle in there, for example, it falls out pretty quick. It'd be nice if they were a bit deeper and like a little bit smaller. These little teeth need to sort of come out a little bit closer to really hold the bottle, but it's probably okay for a coffee cup. It's all very well made, as per typical with Audi and Volkswagen products, but like for example, this is all plastic. I mean, it's got a bit of texture to it, so it doesn't look too cheap, but for a premium model, I'd expect at least that piece there to extend down from the ceiling. So you've got this cloth headliner. Why doesn't that just go all the way down to here, or even better, all the way down to the floor? And then the doors are the same. You've got different styles of textured plastic, which would be fine in a that's sort of a soft rubbery surface. It would be fine in a non-premium model, but for a premium car, I'd expect probably a little bit more extended use of better materials than just plastic. And then up at the back, you've got a full tailgate or hatch lid, so it's almost like a wagon. It just chops down a little bit earlier than a typical wagon. 535 litres of boot space, which is actually more than the standard wagon version of this, 520 litres. So yeah, you've got a decent amount of space. It's just the height you're mainly worried about. You have to store things at the front there if you want to get full use of the height. You've got this little cargo net, which is nice. It holds things in place, and you've got a dual level floor as well. All right, let's take it for a spin, see how it handles, see how it drives, and then we'll do the performance test. Just before we get going, the range is 503 kilometers, which is about average. It's not anything impressive, but yeah, it's about average. And so far, it seems to be pretty efficient, averaging around 20 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which, it's not the best for an EV, but you've got to remember this is a premium product. It weighs around 2.3 tons as well, so it's quite heavy for this size vehicle. Once you factor those things in, then yeah, the efficiency is actually pretty good. So firstly, the ride quality is on the firmer side. It's got a sort of sporty feel. Like, I don't mind it, but I can understand some people might find this just a little bit too stiff. And it's mainly when you're just driving slowly and hitting small bumps, like the little road reflectors in the middle of the road there, that it sort of just jolts and vibrates a little bit more than you might expect. But when you start pushing it, which I'll do in a minute, even on this very poorly surfaced road, there is some suspension travel there and capability of absorbing the bumps. Like, there's plenty of wheel movement happening, even though it might not feel like it when you're just driving slow and hitting the sort of small bumps and ripples and so on. You've got a bit of road roar as well. This is a coarse surface, but yeah, I find that it is a little bit louder than some rivals. I mean, it's electric, so everything is quiet, so you hear the finer details like that. Yes, I just hit that reflector. So it sort of vibrates a bit of the cabin. But yeah, the road roar is a little bit louder than some rivals, probably due to the 21-inch wheels. If you go for the 45 with the smaller wheels, it might have a taller profile tyre. It might just absorb some of that sound. But I don't find it like as a big negative. It's just something to note, I guess. If you're driving along country roads like this all the time, turn the music up and you won't even hear it. But just that, compared with some electric rivals that I've driven, they are a little bit quieter. The handling feels really nice though. Even though it is 2.3 tons, it doesn't feel like it at all. Like, this feels very agile, like it weighs about 1,800 kilograms or something like that. Like, you just throw it in, give it full power, excellent performance, excellent response. Obviously you don't really get a sense of that from the camera because there's no sound that you can kind of sync up with your brain. Excellent traction coming out of corners as well. That was full throttle, not a hint of wheel slip or spin or anything like that. The Quattro system just sorts it all out before you've even hit the wheel, pretty much. Hit the pedal, sorry. There we go, that's full throttle at the worst time. It just pulled the vehicle into line and just sent me away from the corner. You do have some different driving modes to choose from. We'll try out the sport mode or the dynamic mode. So throttle response, the initial response is definitely sharper, but once you're already going and then feed in more power, it's pretty similar as the sort of standard or auto mode. You just get that, yeah, if you're just taking off at the lights, for example, and just bang the throttle, then it just leaps forward. Okay, so we'll push a little bit harder. There's a few bumps and so on that you probably can't see on camera. But yeah, this starts to iron over them even better than the smaller bumps, especially when you give it a bit of a push. Going around this big left-hander, that's full throttle now, and it's just slung me around there like a much smaller and nimbler vehicle. Full throttle, good brakes. There's a bit of nosedive, which is good. I don't mind that. So there is a little bit of weight shift going on. A tiny bit of body roll, but a perfect amount in my opinion. You don't want it to be completely flat, for a sporty feel anyway. But it's not at annoying levels. Like, it's not too soft like some of the non-premium rivals that are out at the moment. Yeah, there's a few bumps along here and it's just glided over them really well. Yeah, so it's definitely a lot of fun. It's fast, but totally sure-footed and capable. You don't have to be an expert to enjoy a nice spirited drive in this. I do like the way you go through the different drive modes and the range hasn't changed. So some of them will change depending on what drive mode you're in. I'll just turn the aircon off, see if that changes anything. Yes, I just bumped up about 3 kilometers. 2 or 3 kilometers with the aircon on and off. So yeah, it just depends what you like. I've driven some electric vehicles where that changes with even just the fan speed adjustment. I don't mind that, but some people might find it annoying. because it gives you that finer detail of what's going on with how much range you can expect to achieve. Whereas this, I do like the way that, yeah, the different drive modes don't make any difference, or not according to the gauge anyway. Maybe as you go, you'll start to see the range drop a bit quicker in dynamic mode compared with in the efficient mode. So, conclusion, what do I think? Compared with some rivals, you can get quicker models for less money, but they're not necessarily premium. And you can get more range with some packages out there at the moment, but again, they might not necessarily be premium. This mostly feels very premium, very well made. As I said, build quality is excellent. I just would like a bit more premium materials for some of the door trims and so on. The dash all feels pretty nice. It's got this, like, you can dig your fingernail in there, it's soft. Same with all across there. I like the interface with the separated climate controls. This console bit is maybe gets in the way a little bit, like my knee's hitting there and I'm only small, but if you were quite large, that might get in the way a little bit. Overall practicality is decent for this class, but I wouldn't say it's at the top of the class. Boot space is very good though, and rear seat space, particularly legroom, is very good as well. As for the powertrain, yeah, I think it's a perfect mix of performance and range. 500 kilometers range is pretty good. We'll see what sort of real world performance it does now. We'll go do the performance test.